Welcome to our session. Basically, after the discussion of Vice Chancellor, after the discussion on the emotional intelligence, my lecture, my discussion, was like that. In terms of the experience, also the Vice Chancellor, sir, I know him very well. When I was in Malaysia, I heard about the professor. Today I notice his leadership style and something in the life, what he said that the real life application. So thank you so much for first of all the organizer to inviting me this kind of conference. I always mention that India is my second home. I deliver lots of keynote speech in India, different universities, and in fact my specialization on supply chain management. And when I was invited here, I was thinking why they invited me. My specialization on supply chain management. I'm the editor-in-chief of Internal Supply Chain Management. Redesign research methodology, they can invite me. And then I noticed there's something that HR, so it will come up from my experience as a leader. So today basically I like to share some of the experience as a leader. I again remind you that this lecture will not be like our Vice Chancellor lecture, okay? But we try to get some of the real life application. You already noticed that we are talking about the workplace in divergence, fight for talent, policy and culture. There are a few sides of this lecture. If you look very carefully, let us start in this way. We are talking about the divergence. Why this question has come up, divergence? So firstly, this question has come up due to the globalization. You know, the most of the time the people, they believe they will work for the country only. Now we believe that different concept. Our concept is that we are the global people. So when you are the professor, you have the PhD degree, you are not only for your home country. Yes, you have some responsibility, greater responsibility for the country. But you are the global people. We are the global professor. So you should contribute all over the world. And that is the most important thing. So, I think it is the best example that this university by chance came from Malaysia. So what we mentioned, there is one kind of divergence in terms of the expenditure. You know that if you do any kind of job in USA, you have to need do the one signature before doing the job, before taking the position. That is relevant to the race, that is relevant to the religion, that is a question of the ethnic group and other issues. And you know that USA, though they mention they're a developed country, still they're facing this problem, this kind of discrimination for the race, for the religion, for the ethnic group. So again, they come to the question of the different group of people will be here. There will be the white-skinned people, there will be the black-skinned people. You know, I always mention the Indian people, they're the leading in the global platform in terms of education. Whatever. If you go to the US, most of the university faculty, dean, program director, all are Indian. Even they're the US Indian people. So when they're taking the position, even the question has come up, their color. The question has come up their race. So again, look very carefully, the divergence is very important issue. So now comes the question is that based on the globalization, what kind of mentality we should have in order to create the workplace for the better environment. I would say the very easy example that we have to change our mindset. We have to change our thinking. So let us start from this generation. You know, I don't want to talk about the 40 years ago, 50 years ago, what happened. But from now to onward, when you have to work in the global platform, our first concern is that our workplace. And we have to believe this diversification, this kind of divergence in terms of religion, in terms of race, in terms of the color, in terms of the ethnic group. And we have to show the respect. Show the respect to the other people. Today, I think before the Vice Chancellor will mention this issue, that we have to show the respect. Show the respect to the other people. And you have to create the trust as a leader. And there is not the easy way to get the trust. You know that, later I will give you one example that I will explain this one, how you can create the trust in the workplace. And this is a very easy issue, but it's not very easy to solve. How you can create this one. But our next one is a co-worker. Think this one. You know that if you think that we are talking about the workplace, we are talking about the environment, so this question will come up that male and female worker ratio. If you look very carefully, that usually that if you go to the Malaysia, if you go to the Thailand, you can see that women, they are getting a very top level position, which is not very common in our subcontinent. Still our subcontinent, if you compare with those countries, I don't know, we don't talk the US, we are talking about the Asian countries. That means it is still is changing. So that means again, if you are a co-worker, the female worker, then how you are treating them? What kind of knowledge you are sharing with them? You know that when I'm coming from Dhaka to Calcutta, that time the same flight, I have one managing director and CEO of the one renowned organization in our country, IPDC. This is a financial institution. It's very famous in our country. And basically, we are talking about the academy-industry relationship. So he knows me, I know him. And we spent a few hours in the Calcutta airport and we discussed this issue. That how they're creating this kind of workplace environment while the female workers will be there. And there's a question of the sexual harassment. It's a very common issue. You know, I always mention, within my work experience in different countries, I notice this is a very common problem all over the world. And I always mention all humans in the world are indifferent. Whatever the professor, whatever the peon, whatever the clerk, whatever the educated, non-educated people. And this problem, what I say that the sexual harassment problem is a very common problem. It is another issue that how you could create the environment workplace. We are thinking that how you can recruit the talented people. But do you believe that all talented people, all intelligent people, they have to make sure that they should be the ethical issues they have to maintain this kind of the relationship with the co-worker, especially the female worker. Even within the male worker, how they can create this environment. You know, the question will come up, who will create the environment in the workplace? We always think that it will come up on the both sides, like employer and employees. But I always mention this issue that it should come up from the employer first. And if you come in terms of the responsibility, 70% responsibility depends on the employer. How they will create the workplace environment. And then 30% depends on the employee. But they have to come forward to the employer side. So the next one, that role of the workplace. You know, I already mentioned this issue, the leadership. The leadership. You know, leaders, it is not necessary everyone to read the book of the how you can create a good leader. It will come from your experience. It will come up from your job experience, job performance as well. I just easy way to explain this one. Then how you can create the good leader, how you can get the trust. You have to do the self-sacrifice. You are the head of the department. You have to do the self-sacrifice for your own department employees, in terms of benefit, in terms of adding the values to them. You are getting the opportunity to go to overseas conference, or you are taking the position at first. You should give this opportunity to the young faculty members. You start the good leadership example. That is the way. You know that I'd like to request, as you know that already you got my name and everything. So you can go to the Brack University website. There's one conference we organized in 2019, this year on April. And that was the 3 days conference in the 5-star hotel. We organized the 3 days conference, 5-star hotel, and the number of participants 300. And then about 12 countries participants were there. And that was the first time we organized this kind of conference in 2017, the second time. And I was the main chair of the conference. You just think that university, they did not give any kind of money for the conference. They think that is a lost project. That is a private university. Then I decided with my experience, why we can organize the conference based on sponsor. And our academics, the more important thing is that we have a lacking on experience in the industry. So why not we can create some of the relation with the industry. And why not we can invite them for deliver the lecture in the industry talk. So that is one of the parts that besides the keynote speech, that industry talk will be there. And finally, we organized the conference based on the sponsor, no university fund. University vice chancellor, he was there, university, all faculty members, they were there. They're very excited by our batches also. The two PhD, one from the MIT, another from the University of Berkeley. So here's the foreign people. So you can imagine that foreign university, foreign vice chancellor is there, but no university found. And then when we are come to the end of the conference, we notice there is some surplus. Now question will be there: who will take this money? The easy example, because university they have no authority for this money, and now I have the full authority to utilize this money. So what I did, first of all, my main target was that I like to donate the university some money for the research purpose. Like in terms of the recent future, if you like to organize a conference, if you do that, you can workshop, academic purpose, research purpose, as well as those who work for the conference, they have to get the honorarium. In our initial budget, there is just some honorarium we mentioned, but I decided that I should increase this honorarium. They're working for the conference for a long time, and there is, you can understand, 300 participants in the conference, in the international conference. And as the chair of the conference, I have some of the money for myself. And you know that all organizing committee members, they inspired me, you should take this money. And I decided, okay, I'll take the money, don't worry. And then because I have the last person who will do the signature. I did not do the signature in my honorarium. I just tear it. And I just throw it to the trash. It already goes to the university, the finance department, they check it, treasurer check it. And you know that the question has come up after the conference, what is my personal benefit? That time they start to check on the financial issue. And when they notice that I did not take any money, there's no question. Now they're thinking the benefit of the conference. You understand? And I just created the one example for my next generation. When you are when you are the father of the anything, when it has come, the conference comes from my brainchild, you should not think about the money there. You have to create the example. And then the next generation will think that we have to do the same process. I always mention money will come up from the different way. So why you are thinking the money should come up from every aspect? No need. So this is a very important issue of how you create the leadership example for the other people. It is not very easy. You have to self-sacrifice. And you have to start to self-sacrifice. And do you know that if you create this example self-sacrifice, I can assure you that you will get the lots of opportunity to get the something. And as a Muslim, we believe that Almighty Allah is there. He is noticing everything. He is observing everything. And the own power, leadership will come from there. But you have to create the example, not only you get it the more and more. So that is a very important issue what I said here, that the role of the culture, leadership. And you know that when you work with the many people, the divergence group of people, that if they are educated, there are more unethical people. If the less education, that's very difficult to do the unethical job. But if you are more educated, it's very easy for you to do the more unethical job. So when you deal with this kind of educated people, you have to be more concerned. And certainly mentioned about this one, that you have to trust yourself. What I am doing? What is my honesty? What is my sincerity? It belongs to you. You have to judge yourself. For the next one, recruitment policy, you know that we are talking about the talent hunting and this question. In our subcontinent, one culture is that during the recruitment, they are asking the question, how many years you have experience? This is our subcontinent culture. Unfortunately, the question will be there, that if you are a fresh graduate, then how will you get the experience? And that time you will be demotivated. I just go back to the one multinational company, I don't want to mention the name related to their security purpose. So I was involved with the consultancy with them. So I noticed the culture, and they always invited me during their HR interview. And I give them some tips that how they have to do this. First of all, they try to ask the fresh graduate on interview person that, did you visit our website? The first question. Did you visit our organization website? Most of them say no. This is not a very common culture. The next question, if they say that yes, we visit the organization website. Okay, did you see our vision and mission? So they try to focus. They are aware about the organization. You will work there. You have to know that why you have to work. Most of them, I noticed, they said that no, they did not notice that the vision and mission of the organization. Then close the interview. No need to go further. Because at first they have to start in this way. Okay. If they said yes, they visited the website, they noticed that the vision and mission. The next question, do you know that which department you are going to recruit, right? So the next question with do you have an idea about the job specification in that department? If they said no, at first they like to highlight, this is the job specification of this department. Can you check it? Is you are fit with this one or not? You have to justify yourself. So he or she is aware about the job specification earlier during the interview time, and he or she can compete himself or herself that I am the fit for this job. That is the first and initial screening question. On the other hand, in our subcontinent culture is different, and I would like to request, now the technology changed, that even the organization patterns change, they are following the same culture. And we believe that within the next 10 years, the whole culture will be like that. Because we have to know at first that which organization you are going to do the job. Suppose you are going to take the faculty member position in this university. First of all, you have to know who is the founder of the university. That we have to know the vision and mission of this university. Then easy to understand. When you go to the management university, you have to understand that the management education is a more priority. You are going to the IT-based university, you have to know this IT-based university. So it is the most important is the vision mission. Same thing in the when you go to the job site. First of all, you have to understand the organization pattern. You know, there is a very two concepts, very popular strategy. Usually one is the responsiveness strategy, another is the efficiency strategy. If you think about the 7-Eleven and Family Mart, or if you think about the Tesco, they are following the responsive strategy, highly responsive. On the other hand, if you think about the China market, if you go to Thailand, there is a Chatuchak market. That is the efficient strategy, cost effectiveness. So now you are doing the business with them. You have to understand at first, they are following the efficient strategy or responsive strategy. Then you have to think about your decision. Your business decision come up from their business. If they are following the responsive strategy, or you are thinking about how you can minimize the cost, how you can minimize the quality, that is not something is there. They are following the cost effectiveness. That time you should think about it. They are targeting the cost effectiveness. Your target should be like that, cost minimize. So then what I said, you have to understand that whole work environment and what type of environment they are following, what type of strategy they have to follow. You know, we are talking about the human governance. I always, that there is some research on human governance, and Malaysia, Putra Business School is a very famous business school in the world, within Asia as well. Putra Business School, there is one mandatory that if you apply for the PhD program, that you must write down the one or two-page any kind of essay regarding the human governance. Look very carefully, human governance. I remember I connected with the Putra Business School as a supervisor. I was surprised. They are asking the student for the human governance. We are dependent on the too much what we call the artificial intelligence. We are dependent on the IT. We are dependent on the IoT and many things. But what is significant the human governance? So now you come to the point that means something is there. We cannot ignore the human. We cannot ignore the human governance. Say our HR director, she is here. You know that whether she is smartly handle the employees or not depends on the human governance, not her the bookish knowledge, not her the standard operating procedures. There's something the standard operating procedures. You have to follow that one according to the law, according to the rules. But end of the day, you have to think whether I could apply my human governance or not. I just give you an easy example so that you can understand. Suppose there is one obligation that after joining the organization, you can take the leave during we call it the probation period or something like that, 3 months or 6 months. You have this kind of issues, no problem. And now suddenly the one employee, after joining the 2 months, he or she got the one problem, family problem. What type of problem? Suppose her husband or the spouse has something problem, is hospitalized. Now next question will come. Whether she or he will get the leave or not. According to the standard operating procedure, he or she does not get the privilege to get the leave. But in terms of if you apply human governance, if you are HR director, you know that everything is not belongs to you. So you should place this issue to the top level. And who is that? You. As a HR director, if you place this issue to the top level and if you get the approval, whether it's not possible the many days, at least for the 3 or 4 days, That is the way that how you could apply your human governance for the person. And that is the example role of the organization. Again, when I say that you should apply the human governance. It's basically, Sir was not here. Sir is, I mentioned, Malaysian people, I always mention, their thinking is that they are not applying human governance in general. But that I always mention that our subcontinent people, especially the Indian people, they always apply the human governance. That's why they are doing very well in the international level. They are not doing well in their country, they are doing well in the international level. That time they have exposed very high. And they are utilizing the human 100%. And what I said that if you apply your innovation, if you apply your human governance, definitely you will get that kind of leadership position automatically. And there is a very something that is different. And again, it will come from your observation. You have to think. You can observe many things, but sometimes you got the something from there. That is the learning. That learning would not be easy for everyone. So you have to observe. And that's why the human governance and human innovation, even creativity, should encourage. And now comes the point. You are doing the job. Suppose you are very young graduate, and now you have a chance to apply human governance. I would like to request you should try to apply. Whether it's applicable or not is another issue. That when you go to any office in the morning, is it not very difficult for you to say good morning, assalamu alaikum, how are you everybody? Is it not very difficult? So you smile. This smile in the morning time is something giving some of the attitude to the other people. Now you are the CEO in the organization. We know that you are very lots of pressure. If you say morning, good morning everybody, how are you? And you are passing to the all employees and you are coming to the room. You already give the message. Good start. That is something. That is something. Your date of birth. The people in the world, they always like this kind of happy birthday word. Happy birthday, happy marriage ceremony, happy marriage day. This kind of people always enjoy. And this is the duty of the HR. When they recruit, they will keep it this one. There's the date of birth. And that nothing, just software based. The day of the date of birth, one message will go there with the card. The employee, they will be happy. Got the message. Happy birthday. At least someone could remember us. That is a great environment. And it's nothing, human governance. Innovation. And I always mention that if you create this kind of environment, and the self-environment, if you create, that is the way. There is a lots of people in the world, if you work with them, like even the low class to the upper class, you can see, they always smile. Any circumstances. And nothing impossible. Let us try. That if you have this kind of attitude and manner, it is creating another environment in the organization. And what I said, why you have to depend on the employer? Who knows? Today you are the employee, once a day you will be the employer. So try to get this kind of characteristics from your early stage. And who knows, you will reach that level. And never depend on the age. It depends on the thinking. So that is one of the issues what we mentioned, the human governance. TKM implementation policy. But now the modern management science, we assume that only just if you work for the quality, it's not enough. We need the total quality management, overall quality thinking. So this kind come up from the top level, middle level, and line level, every stage. I just give you some few examples so that you can think. We call it traditional thinking and TQM thinking. So different. And TQM is that we call it some kind of philosophy. And maybe it is not possible to apply 100%, but once it is your target to go, it is our goals to reach. So the traditional thinking, suppose in the organization there is one problem. Suppose, very simple problem. And there is some of the misconduct in the organization. You are the CEO. And you are in the outside of the office, you heard this kind of problem in the office. You just return to the office. And you are very excited. Who created this problem? And I call him. And the person came to in front of you. Why did you create this kind of problem? See your voice. And the person says, I don't do anything, sir. Really? To call the board meeting. And the board meeting, during the board meeting, the board of directors, he said, sir, he is the main. And he is supported by him. If each other, they are throwing the stone for each other. Look very carefully. You created this environment. We call it traditional thinking. You ask the two question, who did this one? You ask the next question, why you did this one? No need. The TQM concept says a different way you have to handle. You should ask at first, what kind of problem? Next question, how we could solve this problem? Finish. You see, you have to teach different. Traditional thinking, TQM thinking. You are asking what I say, the TQM thinking, you are asking the two questions. What kind of problem? Let us try to find out the solution. How we could solve the problem. Hey, what do you think? Board of directors, they will say, I'm not the victim, I'm not the person who is the guilty of this. He is the victim person and he is the person who created this problem. No need. When you are the CEO, if you mention in this way, let us try to get the solution. Nobody will say anything. You know, it happens many in the world that if you ask this kind of question, that why did you create this kind of problem? And he will not reply anything, but next day he will resign. He will resign. No solution, it's better to resign. And now lots of opportunity to get the job. But it's not the solution in the organization. You have to create the example. And how you could create the example? This is starting from you. If you do this one, then what kind of problem and how you could solve the problem, let us find the solution. As a CEO, if you mention the next day, the director, they will say the same thing to their department. And that is the way to create the environment. So what I said, the TQM concept. Apply everywhere. And now come to the person. He is our registrar. The registrar, sir, suppose he knows, he is the administrative, in terms of our structure, he is the head of the administration in our culture, in the university. Now, he can do the many things, suppose, because he is the head. Suppose there is an organization is running, university is running, suppose he notices something, problem is happening. And there he has to be some of the visionary leadership. And that could create another problem. Now come to the point. How will start? He has to go to the every level to discuss. What could be the upcoming problem? He is gazing something. And he has to discuss the top level, which is level. He has to discuss with the middle level. He has to discuss the line level. Even he has to discuss the lower level. This is the way to get the information from others. Are you familiar with the name of the Delphi method? Means discuss with the many people, then try to get their opinion, and then you are the head of the executive, head of the staff, you have to decide. And that is what we call a consensus decision. And not only that, when you ask someone, you should also ask, what do you think, how you can solve the problem? You should ask their opinion, but you will take your own decision. And that is the way that how you could create this environment. That next time they will do the same process. And at least you could say that all employees, they have some participation in this decision. Nobody will say, we do not know earlier what kind of problem is coming and why you did discuss it this way. So you have to avoid them what kind of problem could be happening. So there is a very important issue is that TQM implementation policies. So all management level, they have to involved in the decision making. And that is his responsibility to create this environment. And this will come up from the top level management. He has to give the highest priority to the fresh graduate. I again repeat, fresh graduate. You know that nowadays we always mention to the industry people that we should do the one thing is that if the fresh graduate, as a CEO, as a head of the staff, you should discuss with them frankly and face to face. Because they just graduated, their brain is more soft, they have the more innovation, creativity, but they have to need the support from you. It is not necessary that you have to follow their opinion, but you have to try to get something from there. You know that US said, there is one custom is that if you have a fresh PhD holder, they assume that you are the more knowledgeable than if anybody does the PhD 5 years before. On the other hand, our subcontinent culture is that he is a person, full professor, he is the highest knowledgeable person. Yes, he is the highest knowledgeable person because due to his experience. But you should also think about innovation. 30 years before, no people they can think the smartphone. They have a smartphone. Now that as kids, they are familiar with the city. They are familiar with the Google Home. And they can talk to them. We couldn't think like 30 years before. So at least we have to listen what is their opinion. It is not necessary to apply. At least as a top executive, you have to give the space to say something. Or you can arrange the meeting, what the Vice Chancellor is doing. In fact, he is using this kind of concept. Meet the CEOs, meet the Vice Chancellor or something. It is a way to get the idea. And he is judging you that what kind of thinking you have. And that is the way of doing, we can apply the TKM implementation. Ethical issue. Do you know this is a very important discussion that when you think about the HR, this is a very important issue. The ethical issue is very prominent here. There are three types of the ethical discussion. Like one is the personal ethics, professional ethics, and global ethics. I do not want to talk about the personal ethics. I think you already understand this one. Professional ethics is what is happening, the standard operating procedures, and how we could maintain this one. I just issued a different something like global ethics. You are talking about the divergence. When you work in the international level, and we believe that everybody now we have opportunity to work at the international level, that is a very important issue, the global ethics. Show the respect to the country where we have to work. Show the respect to the culture where you are working. Show the respect to the religion what they are doing. That is the global ethics. And there is a culture in Thailand, the 6 o'clock evening, there is the national anthem will be ringing. Radio, television, everywhere. In a words, there have a flag raising and downing. 6 o'clock. And everybody stand up. And there are bus will stop. Stand up. The people on the road will stand up for 1 minute. During this national anthem singing, the ringing. And now you are the foreigner. You say, why I have to follow? No. We should show the respect. It is not the respect to their country. It is the respect to the human. You are human. You just think, once the people, they will come to your country, they will work. If they put no respect to your country, then what is the feelings of you? The same thing in terms of religion. I always mention to my students, and when we deal with the lecture, motivational speech, if you do the respect the 4 kind of people, then you can create that well-being society. The first one, show the respect to the aged person. Show the respect to the senior citizen. First one. Second one, show the respect to the kids, small kids. If you do the more respect to them, they have to learn what is the respect to others. They have to learn. Show the respect to the female, not as a female. They are the icon of the society. If there is no female, society will not be developed. So you should show the respect to the female, must show the respect to the society. And fourth one, show the respect to the minority group in terms of religion. If you could maintain these 4 classes of respect, you can produce the well-being of the society. Again, ethics. That is the most important ethics. You know that there is, I think, the Muslim university, so most of the Muslims. There is one culture in the Muslim mosque. If you go to the mosque, you can see the kids, they cannot stand in the front side. They have to take the position in the behind and the side, because these are common in the row. That is not the concept of our religion. If you couldn't give the privilege to them, then how they learn? You understand? Come to the next one. You just think that, suppose here is that Hindu is a majority group, Muslim is the minority group. In our country, Muslim is the majority group and Hindu is the minority group. If you could not show the respect to Hindu in our country, then how to be positioned in other country? So we have to start from our side. So what I said that 4 classes of the respect. If you maintain this one, then you can produce a well-being society. And it is our own of the target that we do not want to create the graduate, we like to create the good human being. So the next one is the Industrial Revolution 4. I always mention nowadays those who get the industry job, corporate level, they have to think the Industrial Revolution 4. Industrial Revolution 4 is nothing else, is expansion of the IT facilities in terms of automation, digitalized, in terms of IoT, in terms of artificial intelligence, something like that. In addition to that, we have to need some knowledge how we could apply those. That you said that I am not the science background, I am not the IT background, it's not nothing. It is not only the science background, only the IT background. Basic you have to know. QR code. I was noticing today that during the registration process what they are using. Because we prefer this nowadays the QR code. Why they will come here, do the signature? This is an old tradition. Change it. QR code application, Industrial Revolution code. Why we are providing that, the conference proceedings, the big 500, 400 no need. We can provide the online proceedings. They have to avoid this one. It's always Industrial Revolution 4. So what I said that from your perspective, from your job, you have to think how you could add the more values. You know that nowadays we are using the concept of the no need the fingerprint. We can use the different technological advancement, automation process. So we always prefer this one. And what is the advantage is that you are aware of the technological advancement of global platform. I again remind you that what I started when I started, I mentioned this one. This is not only our target to become the competent with the local level. Our target is the competent international level. So when we mix the international people, then we can understand, yes, we have that kind of standard. And basically this kind of conference organized, one of the most important things is that how we can create the networking. Different people, different country and something like that. So what I mentioned that the industrial revolution, we have to aware of this one. And I'd like to request that from the university you have to start to think, even that the faculty member, they should discuss in the class, how could I apply this one. 30 years before when you deliver the lecture in the class, we mentioned that it is your target that you have to do the good employee. You have to become a good employee. That nowadays, even I deliver lecture, I always mention, why you are thinking that you will be the good employee? Why don't you think you will be a good employer? So now you should think entrepreneur. You should become the entrepreneur. You should not think that you will be the government employee. You should not think you will be the private employee. You should think, you will create the job. And from first year until the final year, when you are discussing this one, entrepreneurship, how you can be the good leader, how you can become the good entrepreneur, then that is the way they learn that how they could think. And then if they create the job, that means there is no question about the job unsatisfaction, there is no question will come up that we couldn't get the job, we are the helpless, demotivation, no need. We have to start to think. I believe that India is very proactive in this entrepreneur, especially the young generation, IT sector, all over the world they are doing this one. And we have to encourage this one. If we create this kind of graduate, we always mention that is the best graduate in the world. Entrepreneur graduate. What is our target? It's not only our target, the university will produce a graduate. We have to make sure that we have this substandard. And I don't want to discuss all because more or less your family, I just get a few points. We call it the graduates that deserve quality. We need some quality, and we can determine this quality in terms of graduate benchmarking and graduate value enhancement. In fact, this has come up from one of my research of education supply chain management. And there are lots of books based on this one. I don't want to discuss in details. If you're interested, you can search in the Google by my name, you will get it. I just mentioned the key point here. You see, we look very carefully here. Graduate benchmarking depends on knowledge, skills, competence, capabilities, ethics, career development program. University, they should create this kind of environment for them. If they could create the environment, then how they will get it? That today there is one conference is happening, HR conclave is here. Students, they are aware something is happening. They are adding something in their brain. And next time, suppose it will be the large scale. They'll make plans that we have to present the best. That is the start. So university, they have to create this kind of environment for ethics. Unfortunately, that we are not formally we are doing this kind of ethics seminar. We don't have this kind of culture. But there is a Christian university in the world. They have the option ethics seminar, and that is the mandatory is that they can finish the 126 credit to become the undergraduate engineering. They could finish the 126 credit, but they will not get a certificate if they could not join the 2 ethics seminar. And that ethics seminar will be 3 hours. And it will be the weekend, Sunday, morning, 8 to 11 o'clock. And it happens that many undergraduate level students, they finish their undergraduate, but they couldn't get the certificate due to this ethics seminar attendance. And I have some experience, I noticed this one. Even when they join the ethics seminar, the very interesting is that most of them, they are not feeling well. But what is the learning? Learning is that they could learn, say something is happening. This is ethics. I would like to request that you have to think that when you can discuss in the class also discuss the ethics. This is a value announcement. There is something we have to think of: faculty capabilities, wisdom, ICT's involvement. I already talked about this issue. So what I mentioned, if we create this environment in the university, that is the way that we can create the quality graduates. And I'd like to remind one issue is that when we are the faculty member, we are the university professor, our main target not only that produce a graduate, main target to create the good human being. And that even in the university, our target is quality outcomes. So there is some research, and then from there we have to find out the research outcomes from there. And that should be definitely the quality outcomes. And it will start from the faculty member. And then the fellow faculty members will observe, young faculty members, students they will observe, they will learn how they apply the findings, research findings, and then how they will utilize the real life application. We are not doing this just on a basic research. We like to do the practical based research, real life application research. And that is one of the target. So when in the young research, I always request you have to think how we could apply the research finding for the practical life. And that is the applied research. And that is our ultimate goal. Okay, so that's all from my side. Now, do you have any question? You can ask me, please. Please, if you have any question, you can ask. Oh, nobody is there. That's good. If you don't have any question, it means that you are very hungry for the lunch. And you are observing the work. Oh, the time is already past. I believe that if you don't have any question, no problem. You can continue the discussion because I will be here. And keep in touch. And you already know my email address. If you have any question, you can pass to the email. And not only that, if you think that you can do the more discussion during the lunch time and after the lunch, we can discuss. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
That was a remarkable speech. Thank you so much, sir.